I love motorcycles. More specifically, I love BMW motorcycles. At first, I just had a general appreciation for all things with a motor and two wheels. Later, the appreciation became much deeper. So deep that my love became focused on a particular brand. BMWs are not Harleys or Hogs, and they aren't crotch rockets. No, they aren't particularly loud or vibrate you to death while you're sitting at a stop sign, and they don't scream insanely at high RPM as they breach the 200 mile per hour mark. They are brilliantly engineered machines designed to give riders the greatest possible experience. They sound more like a sewing machine on steroids and handle better than any motorcycle on earth. People who transition to these machines rarely go back. If they do, they are constantly reminded of what they were missing. My passion for these motorcycles was influenced by my dad. I grew up with these machines in my life. I was a tank baby of sorts. Riding around on the tank of my dad's old R69, he idled me around the yard. It sounds unsafe, but that's a normal thing that happened in the 70s. Believe me, my dad was an advocate of motorcycle safety. He always stressed that they should be respected for not just the risk involved in riding them, but the pleasure they gave while doing it. You see, unless you are behind a cattle truck on a 110-degree day, the experience of riding a motorcycle is as enjoyable of an experience as walking somewhere you have never been before. The difference is you cover more ground and you feel the exhilaration of a seemingly limitless ability to control your velocity. I became a member of the BMW Motorcycle Owners of America when I was 5 years old. At the age of 5, my job was to meet the mailman at the mailbox and bring the mail into the house. That was a huge responsibility and I took it very seriously. The highlight of this job was the day each month when my dad's BMW MOA magazine was delivered. As soon as I got it in my hands, I would promptly bring it into the house and cut out all the pictures and glue them onto a blank poster board so I could hang them in my room. Later that day, my dad would read the interesting articles, or at least try. My dad was so happy that I liked his magazine, it inspired him to get me an exclusive membership and subscription. I grew up riding motorcycles. Now, of course, BMW doesn't make a child-sized motorcycle, so I had to make believe I was riding the real thing. Growing up, I loved riding behind my dad on his old R90/6. Often, we would go on camping trips. If the night was cold, we would place the tent near the bike so the heat of the engine would keep us warm as we fell asleep. I remember when my dad would ride the bike to work. He would ride regardless of the weather. I remember one day he came home. He had frost on his shoulders and his leathers were freezing cold. The first thing that came out of my mouth was, "How did the bike run?" I think he said he was fine as well. My dad had hip surgery early in life and was advised he should not try to support the weight of a motorcycle. He resorted to riding a hack for a few years. That was when he asked me if I wanted his old R90/6. It had 250,000 miles on it, and it looked like it had been around the world. Of course I said yes, as I felt my eyes welling up. He and I rode together on a few trips until his shoulders could no longer handle turning the motorcycle with a sidecar. I think it was devastating for him to give up riding so early. I put another 100,000 miles on the old bike before I finally had to part with it. It was starting to fail me and the costs of upkeep were mounting. I reluctantly sold the motorcycle to a BMW service school graduate who promised he would bring new life to the old motorcycle. I currently ride a BMW R1200 GS. In this day and age, it is frowned upon to have a child ride on the tank, But my son is now old enough to reach the pegs on the back of the bike, and we go out for a ride whenever we get a chance. My copy of the BMW MOA magazine still arrives monthly. Fortunately, my son leaves it alone.